In this crazy world of 60 frames per second, 10 free 7 stars, and crazy one night stands, exists something called the Cyberweek deals. With this year it being called Hunter's Market. Rather than do what I usually do on a yearly basis where I do my predictions, I'm going to do it or kind of frame it differently from now on or every year to being my hopes for it, because at the end of the day we can have predictions and most of the time they don't come to be true, but we do have hopes when it comes to existing metas of rewards versus what you and your progression want to see from them. Like a good example being last year, the Barons Underground event, Underground Market, had Paragon/Valiant deals. That's something that is good for Paragon players. Or we have what we had, 4 months ago? Since the Sentinel Sideshow sales, where Paragon players were lumped in with Thronebreaker and Cavalier players with a specifically crafted bundle. Great for Thronebreaker and Cavalier players, not so good for Paragon players looking to make further advancements with going up with rank 3 7-star champions without having to spend a load of units in order to get what you really wanted from that particular event. Also, the same thing could be said from those that spend that are Paragon, Thronebreaker and Cavalier. Of course, Thronebreaker and Cavalier had access to some great stuff with spending money. Those that were Paragon probably felt like, oh, well, I've got to spend quite a bit, and Thronebreaker and Cavalier players get equally the same amount of things. So, hey, go figure with that. And those that were free to play, they probably looked at it and went, well, spenders are getting access to a good chunk of stuff just by spending a bit of money, especially if those were Paragon, Thronebreaker and Cavalier players, as we mentioned. So free to play probably felt like the sting of the 36k versus maybe spending a fractional amount of money. But then if you were on 0 units and a spender, you probably felt you had to spend a load of money in order to access some of the better things. It certainly is a catch-22 with this particular situation of spending money free to play, how you access some of the better things. Oh, one of the things I do hope for on Friday is that there's no issues with the sales. A lot of people had really annoying issues with access, so yeah, that was a bit of a problem, wasn't it? They even had to extend out some of the offers, which kind of went a further amount days. I would advise players as well to check out the Summoners Market to make sure that there's better deals on offer for the amount of money you spend if you are indeed one of those spenders. By the way, go and pick up your weekly web store Legends Crystal for, I don't know, free Legends store goodness, and your daily crystal because why not? And also collect your free points so you can then get more things as part of the market point situation. Why? Because if you are a spender, then of course you get access to things like a 7-star. As part of the Hunter's Market, you do get the 7-star Awakening Gems. Another hope is that it is not too expensive. Will Kabam put a monetary value behind something? Yes, highly likely. Or would it be at the end of, say, spending about 36,000 units? I hope not. I hope that it's a fair price. I hope it's maybe at the end of the 18k unit. Especially when, you know, trying to access some of these champions becomes a little bit of an issue. You know, there's an ability to awaken him in the web store. That means money spending. Available at the top tier rewards of web store milestone track. That means money spending. To access some of the champions, you're like, oh man, I wish there was more of a better way to access. We'll have to see where the solo event comes in, but I largely think that will be getting Craven because it kind of gives the idea of awakening him is through the web store milestone. Quickly talking about the, well, I don't know if it's an issue, but the scariness around a tier 7 basic catalyst. I still don't think there's any possibility of seeing it in this particular Cyber Weekend deals, but what I would say is that there's a high likely chance you'll see it in the Banquet event. And that might be something that people wait for their units and money to spend on, but let's face it, if it's in a Banquet event, it's probably going to cost a lot of this in order to access it more than it would be from this, because largely it's all about you know, spending the most money to get the highest rank. The highest rank gets the most spiciest of rewards in the Banquet event. Leading me on to the big word I love to use over the years in the world of Marvel Contest of Champions, and that is depreciation. Depreciation, where something costs or is of the value of one thing at the start of the year that might be quite high, and by the end of the year, when it comes to the Cyber Weekend deals and the Banquet event, it's largely quite low. A good example of this would be 7-star signature stones and tier 4 alpha. This is the one big thing that I hope for, and that is in a decrease in value of how much Kabam value a particular tier 4 alpha. Before, you had to spend upwards of 18,000 units as a Valiant player in July to get yourself a rank 2 to 3 gem. That's very expensive unitary wise, effectively putting into a high value for that tier 4 alpha. Now my hope is that's going to be reduced down, and you could see something around this 7,500 to get at least a 2 to 3 rank up gem, or see something even better, you know, something close to 3,000 is seeing 2 tier 4 alphas. But it could be different. The deals are very different in the underground market. Or what will be the hunters market? The underground market was the one last year, and that at least gave you a bit of an idea of structure. The structure being that you'd need to spend X amount of units to unlock the next one. That X amount of units, so if we're spending say 5,000, your choice of various deals could mean that you'll get something of good value to get you down further. Could be like, as a Valiant player, here's a good example, that you spend 5,000 units, you get a 2 to 3 7-star rank up gem, and that leads you on to tier 2. We will have to see how that changes, or will it change? Is it likely to look different than it was on the July 4th deals, aka the Sinister sales? Highly likely. But with the meta rewards currently being those 7-star signature stones, the tier 4 alpha, and to a lesser degree the Titan crystal shards, but they're still high up there, and also any other rank up relic that extends it even further than maybe you'd seen before, that is where we want to see some good value. And this would be a good time to see if that's the case. And also decisions will need to be made. Are you saving your units, indulging yourself with using them, spending them as a free to play, buying more and buying some of the bundles as a spender, or saving for the Banquet event? And I'll be looking to create better guides than I did in the July 4th deals, ones that are a bit better with breaking stuff down or kind of give a bit more explanation. But we'll have to see on Friday the structure as to what we're getting the deals, as to how I look to present things with a Google spreadsheet. So yes, the word is hope. Rather than predictions, these are hopes that things go well with the event, giving some good facts to what has gone in the past. Why hope? Because we have to hope that Kabam actually do us a solid. With times in the past, Kabam have not. So with more commonly not, you have to hope. Because otherwise I'll just be predicting failure each time for not doing what the player base want to see. The underground market was actually good last year. As I lose my voice, that's a bad omen. Oh god. Yeah, the underground market last year was good. Let's hope that it is better this year and reflects what players want to see from these deals. We'll have to see on Friday. I hope that my bad omen with my voice cracking just then is not a bad sign. And on that bombshell, that is the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be doing some guides on Friday, so come along for that. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.